Okay. Hello, everybody. What the fuck is going on? Jesus. All right, turn the wireless mic off. There we go. I have two microphones, and unfortunately, they're going to the same place. So, okay. So now it's okay. I don't know how the wire. Hmm. Oh, M7 Plus. Okay, that's this one, and then the M7 Plus. Hey, everybody. It's Brian. It's been a minute because last week I was on site at work in Buffalo, which was great. I got back on, I don't know, Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday was just a blur, right? And then the holidays came up. So, um, I've I've just been really heads down on the Claude stuff. And I hate that, but I hate it in a good way because I don't want to say I'm addicted, but I literally spent my Monday working on various projects that I have. And you've seen some of the stuff. I mean, you see the amalgamation of shit that's going on in the animated background in the back there. Um, I've got a few other things. My hair is just fantastic looking. I look like I don't know, one of the One Direction kids or something. I don't know. Do you want to get up here? You don't want to get up here. Okay. Are you sure? Because I don't want you yowling all over the place. Well, okay, then you can get up here. Come on. There we go. All right. You sit up here. You be with me, and you can help me vibe code stuff. Okay. Um, and it's been a busy day at Miramar, so um, I've been learning a lot. One of the things, with my new job is we're building out this AI transformation, which a lot of folks are having to deal with, and some companies are doing it in a way that's use it or else, right? Oh. Um, but there's a lot of organizations that are using it in a very um, they want to go fast, but they're doing some good stuff and cool stuff with it. And I think I've mentioned this before. When IoT came out, it was I'm against IoT. I'm not going to use IoT, and it's here to stay. And we end up having to secure it anyway. When the cloud came out, people were like, "Oh, I don't want to do the cloud. I can't trust the cloud. It's somebody else's computer, etc." We went to the cloud anyway because ultimately, if you're against progress and you're a security person, you're going to get left in the dust. So my my thought is, look, you are getting hair all over my microphone, which is exactly what I didn't want to do when I bought this. I know, I love you too. Um, so you got to get on the bandwagon, right? But you get on the bandwagon with the idea that learn how to use the tools, figure out what the deal is, and then help secure it or help give an opinion about how you would want to secure it. Look, you are in my fucking way, okay? I love you, but the place you want to sit is exactly where I need to be, okay? So I need you to get on board with what I want to do here, okay? Or you're going to have to get down. So what I've been doing is I've been playing around and futzing. Seriously, dog. Seriously. Are you going to get down? Get down then? No? Okay. I excuse my assistant. I did not compile this one from source. So, all right. Look, you need to. No, no, no. I'm not going to let you sit there. All right. So you can sit right here. There you go. Anyway, so yeah, I spent. Well, I mean, I'd already started working on it in earnest, and I'd kind of taken a little break, but I came back to it, and I've built out I built out something that ingests books and documents, and the idea is I'm supposed to be building a RAG, a retrieval augmented generation system, which will allow you and a lot of organizations to take their knowledge base. I'm trying to get away from the words like institutional knowledge or tribal knowledge, especially tribal knowledge, because obviously. So um, they take their knowledge base, their JIRAs or their documents or their policies in many cases, and can ingest them into the system. And then the idea would be you could make queries against it. A lot of them already do things like using an LLM to help make inferences, which is the next big thing I'm trying to work on here with my RAG. I have ingested several PDFs, some of which I have purchased, some of which are homebrew type RPG stuff because I don't have a bunch of documents that of a security nature that I give a shit about. I'm not going to download ISOs illegally or something like that, ISO 27000, and do queries against it. Just not going to do that. I picked a project that I thought I would be interested in doing, which is how we should be embracing things with regards to how we should. I say should. It is always a positive way of doing things because you find yourself motivated to do those things. So I'm gonna stop talking and Oh, fuck a duck. Okay. Thank you for responding, operator. All right. Okay, let me. Yeah, see, now I have two inputs here, and I don't know why. Let's just do that. Remove that one. Let's see, remove. Okay, remove. What am I doing? Well, for the last 10 minutes, I was explaining what I was doing. So I am building a RAG, retrieval augmented generation, which sucks ass because I was explaining that for the last 10 minutes, and apparently I'm a moron about how audio inputs work. So let me go back to my vibe coding scene here. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So I have created with Claude, my good friend Claude, the ability to, these both look like they're hung. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is the UI that I have for this. You can see what I have here is the ability to, I have a worker, I have several, I'm using Quadrant, which is a indexer. I'm using Olama for a local LLM, but I also gave myself the option to use Claude in a pinch if I wanted to use an LLM. The local one is the Olama. I had originally started my RAG solution with I want to call it a comprehensive system. I wanted, I did a value check with Claude and I asked it to. I wanted to use something that was almost foolproof and 100% correct in terms of being able to pull PDFs correctly and effectively. And we decided on Marker PDF, which after a good number of iterations, we found that it was very slow, very, very slow. Like a 130 page PDF would take roughly 3.5 hours to ingest. And that doesn't include if I was making some changes in Claude and it decided, oh, we're going to reboot the entire cluster. And I was like, fuck me. So then it would start over. And so I was working to make it faster. And I did some more research and I found out that there was one that is faster and apparently more accurate than even Marker called PDF Mux. And yeah, I've been trying to work through some of these issues, and I got down to a nice UI that I'm happy with because it tells me the total files, tells me the number completed, how many are processing, how many's failed, and the reason why they failed. So execution timed out after 300 seconds. Interesting. So let me go ahead and do this. So I have some stuff I'm working on here right now because the question I asked it was, I feel like the search function is still broken. It's indexing the books that I have or I want, but the problem is it doesn't appear to index past a certain number of pages. So if I have a 130 page PDF, I'm not getting any more than 5, right? PG vector. Okay, what's PG vector? PG vector. Open source extension for Postgres that allows you to store, index, and query high-dimensional vector embeddings within your relational database. And it eliminates the need for standalone vector by enabling semantic search, AI-powered recommendations, and retrieval augmented generation. Okay. Distances and metrics, similarity using cosine distance. I don't understand what a lot of this shit is, so I'm not worried about it. Yeah, okay, sure. Integrates natively with standard Postgres features like transactions, backups, and role-based security. See, what I love about the LLM movement, the AI movement, is people just making up a bunch of shit as they go, oh, yeah, it's the Jacquard distance. Yeah, you should really work on that Jacquard distance there. And it's like, I don't know. Oh, the Hamming distance. Yeah, I could just say, oh, this is the Strinky distance. Strinky distance. Yeah, you got to have that Strinky distance in your cosine and tangents and whatever, because without a Strinky distance, it's not as good. I mean, this is why Opus is so much better. It's got that Strinky distance thing going on with it. So you should really take a look at that. So yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, you gotta have your janky metrics. Oh yeah, janky metrics. Oh yeah, it sounds janky, but it's not really janky. They're just janky metrics. So yeah, um, stupid people just making shit up as they go along. I'd imagine. So also I'm using. So I went to. I don't know if I've mentioned this to folks, but there's a. Let's see. Also, technically waiting for a deliverable at work, so I'm trying to keep an eye out on my Slack and everything from work too. So, but I'm doing a lot of work at work on Claude as well, which is why I settled on Claude, because I was like, I don't want to try to use Gemini and get the same results that I would over with Claude, because it is literally like two different ways of speaking a language. So. That is everyone making it out. Yes, operator, you're absolutely correct. I also don't just say, yeah, do it for all projects, because I don't know what all projects means in this case, and will it ask me again at some point in the near future? But if I type if I hit yes for Python 3 for all projects, I don't want it to be like that. So I guess I could say for this project and just say yes, but I'm trying not to be like the developers, because I figured it out now. You remember that story that they had back when somebody at Amazon allowed the LLM to delete delete a system or delete a production environment and rebuild it from scratch. Having had to do the dialog box, I don't know, a couple of times now, or a couple of 100,000 times now, I completely understand why a developer would just be like, don't bother me. Just do whatever it is that needs to be done. Don't ask me for any verification, or say yes. Say yes to everything, right? Yes to all the things, and completely understand now why these kinds of things happen. Where it's like, oh well, you told me not to ask you, and I went ahead and just did what I thought was the best, which is deleting all of the files and then trying to rebuild them. So, but yeah, so I'm. Oh yeah, gas town hall beads. This is a really I got this at the local DEF CON meetup. Beads is excellent for tracking your work. I've actually installed it on my work computer as well. It is an application that allows you to track your work within memory. So there's certain things you do, like BD init to initialize in your project, just like you would do GitHub init or GH init or whatever if you were using the command line. There's certain aspects that you can track. So yeah, like BD create is part of this. So BD is beads create, and it's creating a work. So critical, only 1 to 4 pages is quadrant. Actual evidence. So what I've been having it do is research why. If I ask it a question in the UI. So down here, I have a couple of PDFs in here that have been successfully ingested into the system. So, just some stuff I found, Compendium of Dinosaurs. I was just trying to find some random shit. I actually bought all these and actually kickstarted these two. So, I kickstarted that one too. Okay, so this is all kickstarted stuff. This is all digital born PDFs, which there's 2 different types of PDFs when you're working with RAGs that I've found. There are the OCR scanned stuff, which is stuff that wasn't generated in a like Adobe PDF or something like that. Might have been made in a different way. So let me see. Is there a I have a document, I think, that I can show you. Okay. So I have this. Okay. Don't ask where I got it from, because I won't tell you. I will tell you it does exist on the internet, so you just have to know exactly how to Google dork it. I had to give PI Agent an isolated user in Windows called YOLO, as it ran RMRF star after like 100%. See exactly what I'm talking about there. So this is not a PDF born, a digital made PDF. This is One that somebody has scanned a book into a PDF. So literally it's like a PNG file or a JPEG file of the front of this cover. And you can see automatically, you can see where somebody might have just put this in a copy machine or something like that. Oh, Jesus, it got dark all of a sudden, didn't it? So what we're going to have to do for this is you can't just, with normal PDFs, I've found you can scan the metadata, and the text of the document actually exists inside the PDF itself, or the metadata itself. But with these, it's just images, right? So you have to OCR these, or optical character recognition. Now with Mac, sometimes you can actually copy those bits and save them in, but it's going to scan each one of these pages and do its best guess to figure out that. What's this? Unsupervised learning podcast.zip. Oh, okay. Nice. All right. Playing with, okay, cool. Yeah. Operator's got some stuff playing with his own RAG there. So yeah, this is a 130 page PDF of a book that was generated back in 19-2, if you will, 1984. All right, so it's 5 fucking years old then. But if you wanted to play some of these old things, or some of the older things that may exist out there, you can either buy these on like DriveThru RPG, or you can find them legitimately. But let's say I wanted to search this PDF for a god, or a higher power or something from Finnish mythos. And I didn't want to have to scroll down all through this, but so I would ingest this into my system and then run queries and say, tell me about all the Finnish gods that exist, or the Greek gods that exist, or the Indian gods that exist. And it would, should come back with answers, right? So far, my scans, I'm trying to ask it what's on page 115, because my thing was I wanted to find out. Well, one, let me further back up here. Some of these pages were coming up as like this was a 130 page document, and it was only showing like, well, here OCR 50%. Huh. What does that mean? Okay, I'll have to ask it. I'll have to ask that question later on. It would say like Compendium to Dinosaurs, 16 pages. It was actually only showing like 3, and it was getting done super quick, which was great. But I was like, is it actually indexing all the pages, or is it indexing, those 4 pages? And it tried to tell me, and I think this is probably incorrect. It says 16 pages, but I think that's just how many pages are in the PDF, not how many pages is indexed. I am running into issues where it will not look past page 4 on these things. And so I'm trying to understand why it is doing that. And I asked it to do the research, and it's researching it now. Looks like it's rebuilding the ingestion Docker image. I may end up, thanks for the suggestion for PG vector. I don't know if it's any better than Quadrant, so because I didn't pick Quadrant. P versus PV vector, PG vector. There we go. No, I'm not interested. Thanks. Okay, so somebody already has. Oh, here's a whole Reddit dedicated to various rags. So choosing between PG vector and Quadrant for large scale vector database on Azure. What do you recommend? Evaluating options for a vector database. I'm looking for insights from anyone with experience using PG vector or Quadrant, or any other vector databases might fit the bill. Okay. So somebody said, amazing productivity, easily maintainable. You get all the stability and upside of Postgres. Performance is slightly behind Quadrant. At certain scales, it becomes hard to work with. Best in class performance, flexible scaling. You will need 2 DBs. There's a lot of engineering hours to get it right. Ugh. Okay. Interesting. Oh, here we go. That's interesting. Good follow up there. Good follow up, operator. I may have to go and review that. Let me see. Is it? No, that's not it. That's not it. Let's delete some stuff. There we go. PG vector. PG vector. PG vector. Oh yeah. Let's keep going. Yeah, I'm in the early stages of my my rag. So if I have to re-ingest these files, it's not going to hurt me too terribly bad. But and I have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instances running. And taking its sweet ass time, isn't it? Let's see, what does it say? Extraction timed out after 300 seconds. Set PDF mux timeout to increase the limit. Input length exceeds context length. I had this problem with this one earlier. There's something about the token size of Olama and PDF mux did not match, and I think I'd set it to be maximized. Now there's no message for this one here. Weird. Maybe it just didn't finish at all. So, okay, so there's nothing processing right now because these 3 failed. Okay, and I'm letting this finish because I want it to figure out why the indexer isn't working. But I've I've already ripped out the marker OCR bit that's working. If I ripped out and put PG vector in because it might be easier to maintain and manage, that would be something too. But takes up half a gig of memory, and it's running on a good number of ports for health or what have you. So unique ID for multi-worker coordination. I can actually, let me see. Oh, there's an update. Okay. New session. Review work in, I called it PDF splitter, but it kind of expanded beyond just splitting PDFs, because what I was doing was I was going to ingest some PDFs into Notebook LM, but they only take them up to a certain size. And I was like, well, if I have a 120 meg PDF, I'd like to be able to split them up into more bite-sized bits. So it's like 130 meg file would be cut down to 220, a 20, a 20, a 20, a 20, a 20. That way it's well under the size limit of the PDFs themselves, and it would still be able to process all of those. So, all right. So I can show you some of the beans stuff that I've got going on here. Yes, get status. So what beans does is it creates specific work here. So beads work ready. It'll put a 3-digit identifier. What the hell? Okay. Oh, it does this weird thing too as well. And this is VS Code that I'm using. So check. Yeah. Okay. Beads will create these 3. God damn it. Okay, so don't click on those boxes. I don't know why it's giving me that lead output kind of bullshit there, but it is doing that. All right. Is it doing the exact same thing over again? Okay, so it's all right. Rebase. Okay, get stash, get pull. I've also done some interesting things where I've let's see, where is the Is this it? No, that's Kalima. Okay, yeah, so. So what I've done is Beads will also allow, I've also told Beads to upload the issues that I have in my GitHub to show the work that I've either done or need to do with regards to these various things, but it also keeps its own local copy of these things. My thought was, and I want to rename it to Darkly, but I need to get to that point at some point to be able to. That's a nice to have. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out why these things aren't working properly. Let me see. This is blocking the entire system, is non-functional for practical search beyond the first 4 pages. Recommendation, push the 2 commits to preserve the investigation work. Run a test with the new logging to diagnose where exit happens. Check both Olama and Quadrant logs under load to see if either service becomes unresponsive after page 4. Consider whether this is an issue with Olama timing out or becoming responsive after 4 pages. Quadrant upsert failures after a certain point. Silent exception in the retry exception handling or embedder context limit or token counting issue. One of the things that I have been doing is because I want to say weird about it because I don't come from a coding background. I've had mixed results with RAG in Open Web UI. It will handle all the chunk sizes for you. I'll look into Beads. I was working on a local AI for email. So that, yeah, this just organizes your work. In this case, it's not a, where is it? Here, I'll put that link in there. Gastown Beads. One of the folks that briefed us about all the various tools, and I'm actually coming up against that really, really quickly as well. There's just so many tools out there to do things, and it's like, how do you know which one's the right one? Well, this Beads is the right one. Well, how do I know the Beads is the right one? I'm using it only because somebody suggested it because they use it. Now, whether it works because it works for them or it doesn't work for them is neither here nor there. I didn't respond to that. It's the good thing is it's super easy to set up. I don't know how you would uninstall it or update it because I didn't see anything in the command line about updating Beads with regards to that. Looks like 104 is the latest from 3 weeks ago. I have installed it since, so push the 2 commits. Which commits are those? Okay, P0 bug data loss and Quadrant indexing. Only 1 to 4 is being indexed in Quadrant despite full PDF extraction and chunking. This breaks RAG search. Users can only find content from the first 4 pages of any document, which is 100% true. And see, as you can see, that it's already seeing evidence that the various PDFs are not seeing all the points with regards to Quadrant points. Pages total. Okay, recent investigation work. Add detailed per page logging to the embedding and indexing loop. Right, logs, page, iteration, index, chunk counts, embedding, timing. I've asked it to create these logs and create the telemetry so that it can actually tell me this kind of stuff, because the system as it was set up didn't pull a lot of logs, so I actually had to have it insert a bunch of things, which could cause it a performance issue, but I wouldn't be able to troubleshoot otherwise. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Make please log Beads tasks for this work and get started. Okay. So you'll see it do a Beads create for each one of these. Also, the other thing I like about it is Beads does a better job of storing like lessons learned or state that is happening in your LLM. Right now, Claude and other ones, I don't want to say, they have a little drift, right? So if you do something after such a certain amount of time, it will start forgetting that you're doing those things, or it will stop. It will forget those, and you have to remind it to do those. Hey, make documentation updates, or push that to GitHub. And the idea with Beans is it's supposed to help you track your work, and it's going to do things like lessons learned, or it'll take the insights that you've learned from this session and log those accordingly. It also works remotely. So if you have a team that's doing this, you have what's called a Dolt. I don't make these terms up. Dolt powered. It's a SQL database with cell level merges, native branching, built-in sync via Dolt remotes. I do want to, hold on. So the way my PDF ingest works is there's a folder on my computer that I am moving PDFs into, and then when the system sees something in that folder, it will automatically process it. I thought that would be a nice trade-off than point to a PDF location and then bring that in. So that way I could do chunks, I could do batch processing of PDFs to okay, let's just do that and see if that cuts down on the number of bits I have to do. I was also working on a character sheet as well for Pathfinder that would allow me to basically do like Path Builder from Paizo or whoever, creating a character, which is the character builder planner thing. Their website looks god awful and complicated, and I can't figure out how to use it very well. So cancel. And I don't know half of these options too. So it's too much. So I thought, well, I just need a character sheet. I don't need necessarily all of this stuff. So it does a good job, and I purposefully don't come to this site because I'm like, oh, I don't want to take from them because it's not necessarily open source, but I've been trying to work on various aspects to add logic and math and certain ways of deriving aspects of the character sheet myself using the rule set, which was the one reason I started working on the RAG, because I was like, oh, I need to make queries against the Pathfinder books because I need to know all the rules, right? So if I say, oh, what's the rule for wearing heavy armor when you're a gnome or something like that, I would need to be able to figure out how to explain that to the LLM, or say, go here inside this PDF and look at page 75 for, that kind of stuff. State save. Okay. Yes, I guess I should. So yeah, it's really nice because when I tell it to save state, it will run beads. It will also keep track of compaction. It will also closes old tasks to save context. It'll add additional things that you can do to persist memory across. So when I get started with a different session, I'll BD prime and it'll pull up the memories from before, and I'll be like, oh yes, okay, this is how I do a table, or this is how I should implement this this tool or whatever. So it's pretty nice. Log ingestion. And maybe I'm missing something completely and I'm not. Okay, so workers running and watching files. I'll verify the input directory as PDFs and check the database for status. So right now I don't have anything in those folders because I just cleared it out. I had, just before we went live here, had set it up so that it had like 9 or 10 PDFs in it, as you've seen the list that was on there. Obviously, we've zeroed things out again. One of the other things is I wanted a backup feature so that I could back up my chunks and my quadrant points so that if things did go pear-shaped, I'd be able to make a backup and I wouldn't have to ingest what could be a couple of hundred more PDFs in the system. So it's a work in progress. I'm not worried about making a backup right now because I know I'm just going to blow it away and start over. So. Docker compose logs ingestion since 10 seconds ago. Grepping for scanning, watching, processing, extracting, page, file scene. Okay. And I have plenty of tokens left. I have 1 hour left and I've only used 21%. I have been using it a lot. I actually got up to, on the all models section, I got up to about 85% before this cut over on the weekly limits. So that was pretty good. I'm using Sonnet for my model because I don't want to burn Opus like indiscriminately. Sonnet is probably doing well enough. This area probably could. I don't know if Opus would actually come to a better solution than what I've already got, but I'm just going to kind of let it do its thing. If I have to spend, I don't know, 10 more minutes to get the answer I want, or 10 times the number of tokens to get one answer, I don't know. It seems like a nice trade-off to me there. So I do know that when I was first working on my character sheet, I had maxed out my 5-hour time probably in about 2 hours using Opus. And then I realized I don't need Opus when I'm doing HTML style sheets and a little JavaScript, right? I'm not sure exactly what Opus would be used for. Maybe that's where you would actually use it when you're ingesting books or something like that, or you're analyzing the books. But yeah, what I don't also want to do is have to pay extra money to be able to do this stuff. So if I can get where I need to be, just a little extra effort or a few extra, ones of these things, then I'm good for that. And I think that's, oh, there we go. Okay, so it's running the, what? Okay, so there's 2 files in the, it copied those files in there. You son of a bitch. Okay. I mean, it didn't delete any. Oh, yeah, it didn't delete anything. It moved them from, my downloads folder into the PDF ingest folder, which is why it's showing this. So Legends and Lore is the one I just showed you. It's an OCR scan one. As you can see, it's running. The other thing I need to do is I need to change the style sheets because for usability purposes, I hate the dark mode. I hate dark mode. Because right now I have this window here that's causing glare on my monitor, and all I can see is a big blur right over the top of my nice dark moded dashboard. So okay, so we got 2 files in there. Oh, it just added a third. Why are you adding a third? I don't need to add any more because it's already a hot garbage. And yeah, I already have a trouble ticket in for this. I already have a ticket in for work because my extraction monitor doesn't work as planned. It shows down here the segments, but it doesn't show me average page. It doesn't show how many's remaining or how much time has elapsed. And it actually told me average page per second is hard coded in, which means it just says literally a 0 there instead of how to derive those functions. Yes, proceed with monitor. All right, so this is where it kind of gets boring because it's not necessarily burning tokens, which is what it told me it's not doing, but it is processing. All right. And you can see I have 3 files in my PDF ingest directory, which is the directory that it's watching for new contact in there. Eventually, I was going to make it so that each individual function ran in its own Docker instance and, would be more like I don't want to say a Lambda, but it would call that function whenever it had something to do. So the extraction function so it wouldn't necessarily need a query function or an ingestion function if there's no ingestion happening, or the ingestion function would extract the information on the page, and then it would stop and hand off to something else. There are local versions of like AWS Lambda or something like that would run a Python script on demand, right? And that would cut down the amount of resources needed for that. But it would probably take a rather large redesign of the system. And what I would just like it to do is index all 130 pages of my PDF so that if I say what's on page 115, it will tell me what's on page 115 instead of just telling me what's on page 1, 2, 3, or 4. It says, I found the root cause. The issue is in the PDF MUX library itself. Look at 119. Len pages is only 1 because PDF MUX extract JSON is returning only 1 page. Okay, I had that problem earlier where it was telling me the actual number of pages in the PDF was like 1. And I was like, I know that there's more than 1 fucking page of text in this PDF. And so there's probably a holdover from some of the earlier system that I was using for ingestion that may be causing some issues there. Let me check if there's a way to get separate pages from PDF MUX or if we need to split the merged text. Okay, so that one finished. Hedge Knight is actually only 3 pages, so that is correct. And this one would actually, so if you go here, this is a homebrew that I found on Reddit. I am a data hoarder, by the way, so but you see it has only 3 pages. And you can see who created it. Sometimes they have a Patreon or something like that I'll support or whatever. But yeah. So there's only 3 pages in that. So that one should actually search correctly, or would always have searched correctly. All right, so Legends and Lore may take a little longer. You see the 130 pages here. It's actually recording the pages. I'm hoping it doesn't take for fucking ever. Come on, baby. Come on. Been going. Oh, there we go. Oh, please, come on. More than a page every 2 minutes. Come on now. This one may take a while. And you can hear my computer. If you can hear that, but that was the sound of the fan coming on because now my computer is working. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. CPU load. So yeah, we're Docker's running at 1,224%. Yeah, you can see which one's taking the most. The Olama's taking the most. Quadrant's barely at 1%, but everything else is completely maxed out. And I'm also streaming 2 different streams. So if my computer overheats and dies, and the stream just goes dark all of a sudden, then you'll know that my M4 Max is not nearly enough computer to do all of these things with 64 gigs of memory and 20 CPUs and 18 GPUs. The other thing I investigated was I did not know until about a week ago that Docker Desktop doesn't actually run natively on OS X. It actually runs a lightweight Linux VM to do all of the stuff inside of it. So there are native Docker implementations. OS X native. I think one of them is called Lima. There's one called Colima as well. Let me see. Yes. Yeah, Lima. Lima was one of them. What was the other one? Somebody had mentioned. So yeah, there's Lima, which is Linux virtual machines with a focus on containers. It launches VMs with automatic file sharing and ports. Uses container D for nerd control. Container environments, Kubernetes, and container management to desktop. Colima is the one. Colima is the runtime containers on Mac OS and Linux with minimal setup. So this is the Docker that is native for OS X. There is actually a performance hit using Docker Desktop but of course you don't get all the cool hotness stuff that you would get in Docker that you don't maybe get in Colima. But it does support multiple container runtimes, including Docker, Containerd, or Incus, which I've never even heard of Incus. But it's available in Homebrew, so you can just download it normally. See, paste. The computer's probably taking longer to process that book because I am taking up a good number of CPU and GPU to stream today with you fine folks. Yeah, I don't Docker anything AI so much delay. Yeah. I thought perhaps a more native Docker version would make more sense there. And then, of course, they do have Podman, which is a more minimal Docker implementation. It also doesn't run as root, which is the other positive. I believe, I don't believe, but it's my understanding that Docker, when you run these VMs, they're running with the equivalent of elevated permissions. And Podman is a way of doing it without opening yourself up to additional security or scrutiny. Oh. Yeah. Oh, shit. Okay. There is a legitimate, like, leave me alone and just build so I don't have to keep, saying yes for this. We'll see if that actually works. Where's the tech reader at? So it's updating PDF splitter, status closed, add detection and splitting. Now let me push the fixed to remote. Okay, so let me go back up to my desktop. All right, so I don't know why Battle Ancestry Slimes made it in. It's only a 19-page doc. Okay, Legends and Lore did finish. All right, so and maybe this isn't the right query to ask, but the only way I could get it to kind of suggest something, because I didn't know what was on page 115 of the Battle Zoo PDFs. Let me go see Legends and Lore. All right, so let me open up Legends and Lore and see what would be on a later page in the system. Then I can ask it a question that would be on page 100. Okay. So we're on page 106, and there is, from Norse mythos, there are the Vidar. All right, so if I did a search or asked it what a Vidar was, it should have to go in here and say, in Norse mythology, who are the Vidar in Norse mythology? Okay, so the same thing is happening again, right? So, okay, it's definitely finding. Ugh. Okay, so some of this OCR is just god awful. Okay, so still page 4, page 3, page 4, page 3, and it's actually looking in other places for stuff that doesn't exist. PDF splitter. Successfully diagnosed and resolved the P0 data loss issue. Here's what was accomplished. The PDF Mux library returns all pages merged into a single result object. Processes all end pages correctly. Audit confirms 40 good, 0 bad, 0 empty. The JSON result contains only one page with all the context concatenated. Our extractor would index just that merged page instead of 40 separate pages. 99% data loss. Users could only search the first 4 pages of any PDF. 130-page PDF indexed as one page with merged content. System completely broken for RAG search beyond first few pages. Commit 5936599 adds intelligent page splitting. It's not closed. Push to remote. All right. So also when I'm troubleshooting is I tend to make screenshots because I don't do a very good job of explaining shit to people. And copy image. And then I will post that up here in the doc and I say, please review the attached. See where I asked for a specific reference in a book. Hey, Digital Warhead, how you doing? But WSL to Docker to CUDA GPU takes for flipping ever. I run everything native in Jamboree in its own user space. Yeah. The other thing I think I realized is none of these systems will utilize Apple GPU, right? So everything is CPU based, or doesn't take advantage of the GPUs for the system. In a document, A, B, and D legends and lore, and the answer would be found on page. What's the page for that? Page 109. Oh, wait. That's 110, page 110. Now I say one, it says 109 on the PDF itself, but it's actually page 110 because there's a cover page. Page 110. The output shows that again, the maximum is page 4. It's going, Digital Warhead. The first 10 minutes of my stream, nobody could hear me. They could just only hear music because I fucked up the audio inputs again, but it got better. So I've been just sitting here. You gave up on Olama. LM Studio has full support in Mac now with fancy fast stuff. Yeah, it was one of the other options that I had. And again, I may end up having to pull out and use PG Vector, and then I may have to move it to LM Studio. So my initial idea for this may have to go completely by the wayside. While that's going. Oh, so smart enough to say, oh yeah, my fix didn't work. Let me check in the logs. Yeah, I have both of them on my system here. I just, again, I don't have any this is really the first project that I've ever done that, I've ever used a local LLM for. I mean, I've wanted to try setting up other things. I just don't code. I'm not even coding now. I'm just kind of letting it do its thing, which is why I'm having, that's why I'm not overly like, oh, I need to have this done, or I'm not like, oh, this needs to happen today or whatever. It would further investigation needed. Of course it did. Let's see, what I got wrong. My initial fix used proportional text splitting, dividing the merged 206 kilobytes of text across 130 pages. This assumes uniform page sizes, wrong for real documents. Splits at arbitrary character boundaries mid-sentence, creates pages with minimal meaningful context, results in only pages with some text getting indexed. real problem. When PDF Mux processes a 40-page segment, it extracts all 40 pages correctly. It does OCR on each page, right? Returns one merged page object. Okay. Instead of 40 separate ones. Our chunker or indexer only sees one page to process. Okay. What GPU do you have? I have a MacBook. So there. Yeah. I have a MacBook. So I have whatever GPU exists in a MacBook M4 Max. Shh. Please. Fuck. All right. What's actually needed? Find page break markers or patterns in the merged text for look for dash 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 for page numbers. What else did it say there? Headers split on those boundaries instead of character count. Yes. That is a smart page boundary detection. Okay. Option B, hybrid extraction. Use PyMu PDF to get the individual page structure and text bounds, then overlay Mux's OCR confidence onto PyMu PDF pages. Preserves OCR quality and page accuracy. Okay. The issue is clearly systemic. It affects all large PDFs. Interesting. All right, so run BD update PDF splitter gaf to start the root cause investigation. This investigation will determine which of the three solutions is best. Okay. All downstream tasks depend on its findings. Since 100%, we're like super blocked right now. So I actually thought about getting like a GPU enclosure or something like that, where I could just have a, GPU external. Yeah, something like this on Amazon. Yeah, or eGPU dock, something like this. But they're expensive, and then you still have to buy a GPU for it. So it's like, yeah, that's not good. It's not good. Before everything kind of went to shit here, not actually getting searches or inferences, I was actually going to take my other two lab boxes, which I have over there. I was going to just put Docker on them and have them run ingestion agents so that I could, do multiple, 5, 6 books at a time, and then it would just upload directly to, the main system here for all this. I was fortunate enough to get a 5080 before prices got crazy. Well, I had a 3060 on my old Windows streaming box at one time before I got rid of it and then I moved to an ATI. No, it's not. Yeah, Radeon chip because for whatever reason the pre-built box I had was complete garbage and caused the NVIDIA card to blue screen. So once I moved to a Radeon chip, it was much more stable. So I can send API keys from my local 3090 LM Studio 65K context. That's very appreciative of you, operator, but I actually have to have a system that works before I can send you data to push that information through. But thank you for the offer. I appreciate that. Okay, let me use the actual PDF that's in the input directory. All right. Let me see. Yeah, see, I mean 349 for a Razer Core. Well, I have Thunderbolt 5, so I can more than handle the amount of data that's going to be passed between GPUs and what have you. But I got to have a workable system if I wanted to, add performance to it. So, I mean, I don't mind it working slower than the optimal, but it's like $279 and I'd be eating up 800 watts of PSU every time I wanted to use that shit. It's like, do I need it? No, not really. Holy hell, it's already 4:30. Yeah. Anyway, so close that. So it is updating. It's idle right now. Interesting. Okay. And it could be that, I'm in the pantry you're in the pantry taking over by ants. If you didn't wipe everything down with honey and sugar water, you probably wouldn't have ants. I'm just kidding. I don't know if you actually put honey and sugar water all over everything. We had ants, but we ended up having to get Oh, you got a tour camp ticket. All right. Sadly, I will not be going to tour camp. When is tour camp? Tour camp. Tour camp is gonna be. See, that's too much roughing it. I can't. Yeah, I gotta have room service and shit. So, yeah. Oh, June 24th and 28th. Yeah. Yeah, see, my problem is twofold. One, I no longer live in the Pacific Northwest, so I would have to bring all of my camping gear on a plane. Hey, Murph, are you going to sneeze on my microphone? Because you've sneezed on everything else. No fucking. Hey, where the hell are you going? Hey, are you out of your mind? Hey, you can't keep typing Z on my keyboard. I don't even understand how you did that. She walks over my keyboard and uses her back paw to touch my keyboard. Yeah, so I'd have to bring everything that I'm going to be camping with on a plane, and I'm just not a fan. Still need to get ferry. Yes, you probably need to get ferry reservations. There's going to be a really long boat trip. Long trip. Please let me know what you want to do on the dock. Okay. All right. Please do SR6. There we go. A lot more security focused than I assumed. They live streamed all their talks and are available on their YouTube page. Yeah, a Linux Fest Northwest. Oh yeah, they're really good. They're up in not Blaine, Bellingham, I think, right? Yeah, Linux Fest Northwest is up in Bellingham. Yeah, that's pretty good. It had been a few years since I'd been, even when I lived up in Seattle. So yeah, Bellingham, Bellingham, Washington. So. I'm assuming. Okay. Oh, this one. Oh. I don't think so. Um, okay, so 46 seconds. All right, so we're processing that book. Do not upload internal documents. Hmm. All right. Usually I have something going on in the background, like I'm watching TV or something. You, you, All right. 2 courses away from finishing my master's in InfoSec. All right, good job, Digital Warhead. That's been a journey, ready to be done. Yeah, I can understand that. Of course, mine was only a bachelor's, not a master's, but yeah, getting that capstone or getting that last bit done. Do you have a thesis or something you have to write, like a document, or is it what do they call those now, where you don't actually have to defend a dissertation or whatever? It's like work experience, doctorates or masters, something like that. Recording. Hey, sweetie. All right. Let me see. Docker compose ingestion. Okay, so it's basically rebuilding or it's checking the log. Okay, let me monitor until indexing completes. What's our use right now? We're at 26%. Okay. So yeah, the monitoring doesn't take much. God damn it. This is really creepy. It kind of looks like, I don't know, why would it look like that? Maybe I need to run updates or close something. Okay. Yeah, my last course is capstone. I haven't decided what I'm going to do on it yet. Okay. Well, AI is huge, right? You could do something on AI. So, God damn it. I had the same problem with Quadrant. Not with Quadrant, but with using what is it? Marker, the Marker OCR stuff, and I ended up ripping out Marker and putting in PDF mux. So maybe I will try PG Vector, see what we'll do with that. No. Little link to the website. Damn. Seriously. I don't know how to do red lines. I'm just gonna. Okay. Okay, we ball. You know what I mean? Site. Oh. I don't do red lines. Okay. Honestly, I don't understand editing files. Sometimes somebody says do something, and then I just need to copy paste it in. It's just a bit of a genius thing. I graduated with my bachelor's last year, and my employer paid for and gave me vested stock options. I remember you talking about you were going to do something like that. They offered the same for the master's, so I figured I was leaving money on the table, not continuing my education. They'll pay for. Fucking yes, make them pay for that shit. That way you don't have to deal with the student debt of having to take out loans or what have you. You're absolutely 100% correct. If a company is going to pay for you to go to school, definitely do that. When I was in the Navy, I should have, because I was young and stupid, I should have taken advantage of that fact more, but I didn't. I did not. I actually got probably a year's worth of credit, probably a couple semesters worth of credit. I mean, I only went to University of Phoenix, so I ended up with only $20,000 worth in student debt, which I paid off a long time ago. But still, it was they'll pay for it. Do it. Yeah, 100%. And especially if they're going to give you RSUs. I mean, Even, your company's always going to, be around. If those, I think so they've already vested, right? So you got your stock options. So yeah, you don't have to wait for those to vest. That's even better. Oh, Dennis. Wow, an hour and 25 minutes and I haven't done shit. I have noticed that when you get stuck on certain things, the solutioning sometimes will take a while for stuff like this. So looking at the code, I see option B is implemented. What? Option B is implemented. So PDF Mux is actually pulling in PyMu PDF for that. Interesting. The split logic looks correct. Checking if page count length they're not appearing in fresh runs, which points to extraction being cached, not calling the extract method or the conditions not. Extraction is hitting cached results. The split decision isn't triggering because either the cache is bypassing the code or the condition isn't being met. So there's some point where it's going to be like, oh, version 1 kind of sucks ass. I probably should just burn it all down and start over again. I mean, it's not costing me anything. I mean, I'm paying a monthly fee for if I use 1 token or 1,000 tokens. So might be worth it to burn it down and start over again with the current training that it knows of. So it would be like, plus I've asked it several times to do things like do a refactor or do a security review and fix those issues, or there's definitely ways to secure the environment, but I may have actually, done things like maybe the GitHub thing, connecting the issues log to beads was probably not a good idea, but fresh cache and a clear image. It's still running that. Okay, so it stopped the yeah. All right, compose Docker down, yes. Yeah, a master's degree is still a master's degree regardless. You're 100% correct on that respect. All right, so it's thinking, it's doing its thing. You son of a bitch. Yeah. Calling me anyway. Right? Haven't seen the Sockville quiz this week either. So, by the way, I did not realize that the guy who makes the Sockville quizzes is actually in our Discord. So, Jocko is actually. Let's see if there's been a new one. Yep. So I'm still week 47. Okay. So hopefully week 48 will be out soon enough. But yeah. Weird. Okay. But yeah, it's still in week 47, so we got some time. I was actually expecting a big vulnerability to happen on Friday last week, but nothing happened. So I was waiting for that to pop for us, but it didn't happen. GitHub, Daniel Meisler, personal AI infrastructure, file system as context, no rag. PAI has avoided RAG since June 2025. Rich text with cross references, fast search like rip grep. Gives us everything people normally want from a RAG without the embedding complexity, the retrieval flakiness, or the loss of fidelity. Your file system is the index. Sounds good. Sounds good. But when they're expecting complete text, right? You can't do that with some of the documents that I have in my collection. If it's a nice Word document or a nice PDF that is digital born, yeah, works great. But if I have a JPEG file that is inside of a PDF that has writing on it that I want it to be able to search, it's not going to work. Oh, thank you, operator. Appreciate the bits. Appreciate the bits. Yeah, I guess, also Amazon Prime subscriptions are also available, also a thing. Maybe I should put up like a, help me buy an eGPU so I can go fast and do stuff. Do some sexy squats. No. I will take a nice drink. Here we go. All right. See, vibe coding I thought was supposed to be more glamorous than this. This is all it is, really. It's just sitting here watching shit happen, right? And the next time I stream it might be, oh yeah, I nuked it from orbit and started over because I realized that my tech stack was garbage, or I over-engineered it to do too much stuff, and then it got confused. So, yeah. How many bits per second? What? I don't have the ass for sexy squats, okay? So, stretch. Actually, today was back day, so I'm actually kind of feeling the neck issue. So, sexy squats. The funny thing is, you can't Twitch banned what, operator? Sexy squats? Yeah, I'm not that drunk enough. I'm not actually surprised they did that. They're trying to keep it somewhat PG around here. If they want to, I think they hit peak softcore when they had people sitting in like clear plastic containers or something and bikinis and things. I think I saw an article about that, or maybe an internal email. Docker composed log ingestion. Oh wow, okay. We're after time. This is exciting and all. I do appreciate the bits. Thank you, operator. Thank you for all of that. I'm going to. Man, my hair looks awesome. I actually need to get a haircut because it's a little long. So I'll probably do that this weekend. I'm going to continue on here and see if I can actually get proper, not explanation, but if I can get a proper search out of these diagrams. Thank you, operator, for the PG vector. I might actually end up having to put that in if Quadrant can't figure its shit out. You would think it would be able to do so, considering it considers itself best in breed, according to those folks. But if it doesn't work, then I might have to rip it out like I did Marker and start over. So we'll see. Maybe it's far too gone, and I have to start over from scratch. Which, I don't know if that's how it works in the programming field, or they just say, well, fuck it, I will just rip out whatever, and we'll leave all the extra little bits in that don't exist, and that's when you run into code that should have been removed a long time ago. Open Web UI's turnkey with Olama or LM Studio. Yeah, but then you don't learn anything. Open Web UI is turnkey. Open Web. Okay, so you suggested if you're using Olama, note that it defaults to a 2048 token length, right? Okay, so that's the problem I was having. It defaults to a 2048 token length. Some of the PDFs that I've been pulling that were not PDF or digital born, they were scanned. It was like, oh, you may need a 8192 token context length. Yes, it does severely limit retrieval augmented generation performance, especially for web search, because retrieved data may not be used at all or only partially processed. So that makes complete sense there. I did actually, I think just before we got on, was like, yeah, 8192 is yeah, that's where it says down here. Navigate to your admin panel, increase context length to 8192, or rather more than 16,000 tokens. This setting specifically applies to Ulama models. For OpenAI and other integrated models, ensure you're using a model with sufficient built-in context length. Just say fucking fix it. Yes, I would love to say just fucking fix it. You know, I'm trying to be nice to our robot overlords, so that way when they take over the world, I will be considered in one of the ones that they save instead of hooking up to the Matrix. Yep. There we go. This is where she's about to tell me, oh, we can't use that link because you have to be on Zscaler. Not everybody's on it. All right, so we're going to ingest 3 more books. All right, anyway, so I'm going to continue futzing around with this, and I've got some more work to do, it looks like. So I'm going to go, and I appreciate everybody who came on, Operator, Digital Warhead, all of the other folks that are streaming and lurking. I've beat enough machines with hardware reset tools. I'm only going to AI hell. There's no saving grace. OpenWebUI should chunk large files for you. I handled it, that entire zip of like manual dumps for 4 different car manufacturers. The PDFs were massive. Okay, I mean, I've got PDFs in the range of, let me go see. I think some of my larger PDFs are in the range of 500 megs because when somebody scanned them, they probably use fucking bitmaps or something. So each page is probably 15 meg bitmap. Morons. Let me see. What is my largest? Well, this is the largest one I have on my local box here. I actually have an 8 terabyte drive over there of stuff that I probably should go through and dedupe and collate and what have you. So see, the largest one I have as a PDF. Okay, so I have let me see. Shit. Okay, so the largest one I have is Forgotten Realms Adventures in Faerun, which is a, oh yeah, that's not even a good one there. Okay, so okay, so I kickstarted this one as well. Crown of the Oathbreaker. I kickstarted this one too. It's high quality PDF is from Elderbrain. Elderbrain makes some good shit. This one is 700 megs. So I'm sure there's a lower quality version in there, but this is how many? I think this is like a 500 page document. Let me see. No, I'm sorry, 914 pages. So it's a 914 page document. Actually, I think Torrents of the Spell Hoarder, which is also from Elderbrain, is also somewhere around the 1,000 page frame. So obviously I'm going to need to split this one up a few times. This one may actually take a little bit to do. So, but yeah, it's 1,000. It's 917 pages according to the bit there. So, yeah, Operator, I'll take a look. You know, I can always start another GitHub with, you know, another implementation of a RAG. All right, I'm gonna go because I'm getting upset at work shit. So take care, y'all, and we'll talk soon. Okay. All right. Have a good day. Later. Bye.